Hello everyone, back to tuning into today's second video. I'm going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days. For today's second video, day 10 will take us to the 16th of March, and we'll be able to set out beyond that with its GFS and ECM ensembles. They run around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video. For the next 4 weeks, gets us to the end of March. I shall get on that for you in a moment. Just to say back the first video today was our 6M UK weather forecast. Please like, share, subscribe on both of today's bids. Shout out to everyone for doing that. For GavsWeatherVids, thank you so much, everyone. Hope you're having a lovely Thursday. Right, going to start off with the situation in the stratosphere, just to confirm that the major sudden stratospheric warming event that we're talking about over the past couple of weeks is continuing. It's continuing to strengthen over Siberia and starting to move now towards the North Pole. Within the next 24 hours, we're going to find this dramatic warming pushing into the North Pole itself, and that displaces the stratospheric polar vortex with blue colours here at their roots in the stratosphere are being pushed out into America, the Atlantic, and into northern and western parts of Europe by this dramatic strat warm. And that's set to continue through into next week as well. So we get a split of the stratospheric polar vortex by the middle of March. Got one lobe of blue off into America, another lot around the west of Europe and into the Atlantic as well. And in the extended, we actually get a second warming, a very dramatic warming appearing again over northwestern Russia and pushing into the North Pole. This is actually even stronger, really, than the one we got at the moment, to be honest. So, again, you know, that's just going to reinforce the reversal of solar winds and whatnot. So very dramatic developments stratosphere-wise ongoing for the next couple of weeks. 100% of GFS ensemble members are forecast a reversal of solar winds at 10 HPA 60 degrees north of technical SSW. So you can see that solar winds are already weakening. You can see here from the blue line dropping from where it was a couple of weeks ago, or a week or so ago. We're currently there, but the green lines, GFS ensembles, indicating that solar winds are likely to go into reverse. Certainly by the beginning of next week, you should have a reversal of solar winds, and then another reverse. So they sort of drop down to there, I think, then come back up a bit and then drop again, and that's due to the second warming that we saw just there, which could be an even stronger warming, and that might take the solar wind down to a record low level. We'll have to see about that, but certainly very dramatic developments coming up stratosphere wise. Oh dear. So we shall keep you updated, of course, after strat warm. Then we're going to be looking to see if we get a tropospheric response, and that is through typically through northern blocking over the Arctic and the North Pole. And at the moment, there's no real sign of that. So at the moment, so this the black line here shows where we've been with the Arctic oscillation. Red lines up the end where GFS ensembles are forecasting the Arctic oscillation to go. At the moment, we are positive with the Arctic oscillation, really quite strongly positive. We do see over the next few days that we are actually going to go negative with the AO, but I don't think that's anything to do with strat warming, because there's normally like a couple of weeks delay to get a tropospheric response. And actually in the period into second half of March, we'd expect to be getting a tropospheric response through northern blocking. We see that the Arctic oscillation is going more positive again, actually, within the GFS. So at the moment, there's no sign, you know, of the tropospheric response to the strat warming. But then again, it is early days. It could be towards the end of March, early April, that we get a response. But you don't always get a response, you know, don't always get a tropospheric response to SSW. So that'll be something that we'll be monitoring over the next week or two. And in terms of a North Atlantic oscillation, well, again, we are currently positive with the LEOs. That's why we're pretty mild for this first week of March. LEO going negative for the next week or so, up to the middle part of March. Anyway, we've got a negative North Atlantic oscillation there. Now, both of the indexes going negative. That tells us that there's going to be colder weather probably coming up next week. There will be colder weather coming up next week. But again, that's not really, I don't think, anything to do with the SSW. And a bit of a hint right at the very end that the LEO starting to go perhaps a very weakly positive again. Though there's not much sign of the AO of a tropospheric response to strat warming yet, but we shall keep updated, and this will be something that we're looking at focusing on over the next week or two. Of course, somebody asked very, very nicely in the comments whether we could have a look at the AO and the NAO. So to that person, I hope that you've enjoyed this little look at the AO and the NAO. Thank you so much for commenting and getting involved in the channel and whatnot. And we're always happy. If anybody wants me to look at something, I'm always very happy. To do that if they're kind about it. Right. So this is how the latest wind map from earthnawschool.net is currently looking. So we've got low pressure out in the Atlantic, and we're bringing up the wind from a southerly direction. So it's very spring-like out there today. Temperatures into mid-teens Celsius, might even hit 16 or 17 degrees somewhere this afternoon. Really pleasant spell of spring-like weather. Next week we're going to shift the wind around to. So it's going to be quite interesting actually. We're currently bringing up like a southerly at the moment. The next few days going to gradually start to bat that around from a southerly to a southeasterly, and then eventually to an easterly, and then eventually to a northeasterly by the early part of next week. So it's going to be gradual, day by day, incremental change in wind direction from the south to the southeast, to the east, to the northeast. So by the early part of next week, it will be turning colder once again. Spring is never a straightforward season. It's always one of those seasons where it's like one step forward, two steps back. At least until you get later on into it. When you get, into May, then it's more straightforward. But for the time being, it's never a straightforward season. Or very rarely is it a straightforward season. Central temperature currently sitting at 5.4. That's 0.2 degrees. Below the 61 to 99 average, individual to yesterday, to the 5th of March. That's going to carry on rising into the 60s, I would have thought, by the beginning of next week, and then it will start to fall again. These were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're going to Edinburgh today. Now, somebody took me to task in the comments yesterday for only focusing on, we looked at London and Birmingham, so only focusing on England. They got very, very cross with me. It was very rude to me in the comments and to other people as well. So therefore, this person has actually been banned from the comments. I asked it, if you want to see something, then please be kind about it. Please be polite, and I'm always happy, to do that, as I did earlier on with the AO and the NAO to the person who asked very, very nicely, was very kind about it. But if you're going to be rude and nasty and abrupt, then your time on the channel is going to be very, very limited. However, I always look at other places, Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, areas outside of England, Wales. It was about time to have a look at somewhere in Scotland. So here we go. We're looking at Edinburgh today. So the red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for Edinburgh. We're starting off above average with the upper air temperatures at the moment. We're going to keep them above average into the end of the week, but by the beginning of next week, we're going to find the upper air temperatures becoming colder. So there's the cold snap opening up through the second week of March, and then beyond that into the second half of the month, the upper air temperatures are close to average, but that does mask quite a bit of scatter. So we've got warmer ensemble members up here, and we've got colder ensemble members down there. Precipitation-wise, going to be some showery bursts coming up through the weekend, so next week, but a lot of dry weather actually while we're in this colder period, and then perhaps a bit more unsettled into the second half of the month again. How's Snow Row looking? So there could be some snow for Edinburgh, definitely possible there between around the 10th and the 14th or the 15th of March. We've got some snow spikes, and then right at the very end, interestingly, some rather larger snow spikes showing up. Of course, that's a very, very long way off, and is therefore extended range and unreliable. There we go. So, to that person who took me to task yesterday, there we go. We've had a look at Scotland there. But there's no need to be so rude and, abrasive about it. Temperature anomalies for the next 5 days are coming out above average, not just the UK and Ireland, but through most parts of West Europe. Actually, the core of a warm over on the eastern side of Europe, where we're about 10 to 12 degrees above average here, so really warm over in the east. It's not as warm in the west, but still about 3-4 degrees above normal. 6 to 10 day temperature anomaly, though, shows a significant change, a significant drop, and by the 16th of March, we're looking at a colder than average temperature anomaly, really quite significantly so in some places. On the temperature scale, the anomaly scale, I think we're about 3 to 4 degrees below average there, particularly in some of those southern and western regions. 10 to 14 day temperature anomaly goes closer to them, but still a little bit on the cold side. So after the next few days, we definitely do have, as we already know, quite a significant cooling trend. And as far as precipitation is concerned, yes, it's going to be a drier than average week to come as well, getting us to the 13th of March. Right, let's start going through the all-important chart data then. Let's have a latest UK Met Euro runs looking midnight on Sunday. Winds coming up for a southeasterly direction, so that's a change from the south to the southeast by the weekend. Then by midnight Monday, those southeasters have turned to easterlies, and then by the time we get through to midnight Tuesday, those easterlies have turned northeasterly, and that starts pulling the colder air, of course, from the northeast. You might start to see some wintry showers turning from the east coast, certainly some night frost. That looks really quite chilly, doesn't it? That's midnight Wednesday in a proper northeasterly. Then there's a little bit of a feature in the North Sea as well. That might enhance the wintry showers for eastern regions, maybe around middle part of next week. And the high pressure starts to sink down across the country by next Thursday. So that's going to bring some really quite cold nights, I would have thought. And by day, of course, the mild sunshine is getting stronger, so it won't feel too bad by day. But so that is looking quite cold, I think, through into the second half of next week. The UK Met Icon, again, pulling the wind around to an east or northeasterly through the early part of next week, courtesy of this blocking area of high pressure to the north and to the northeast. And then we head on into the second half of next week, maintaining those cold northeasterly winds as well. They're quite light winds, so it won't feel too bad in the March sunshine by day. Will be cold by night with some pretty harsh overnight frost. And again, if we get like a disturbance or a feature, and we do see that possibility with these kinks in the isobars here, we always look out for kinky isobars on the channel, then, that might just enhance the wintry showers. I'm so sorry, everyone. That might enhance the wintry showers a little bit around the middle part of next week. All of that's to be determined. We might be doing snow watch, by the start of next week, but then again, we might not. We'll wait and see. KMA, again, we were wind in from a southeasterly direction through the weekend into next week. Here come those east and northeasterlies becoming colder as we go through next week with wintry showers in the east, and we've got low pressure passing to our south. Could that bring something a little bit more persistent in terms of precipitation to the south later next week? It's a possibility, but generally saying quite cold anyway up to day 10, with winds continuing from a northeasterly direction. Beyond day 10, the blocking signal goes on. That's the 18th of March, as far as we get to with the KMA. We're still looking cold and wintry, with winds coming in from a northeasterly direction. No quick way out of that one. Let's have a look at the GFS output. Let's have a midnight run is looking. So again, we switch wind from the southeast to the northeast. Should be early part of next week. That starts to drag in those colder temperatures from the east, from the northeast. Remember, everyone, this is almost certainly not, but this is not, I'm sure this is not a tropospheric response to the Strat warming. This is like an ongoing continuation of the pattern that we've had on and off through winter since the new year. Blocking has been coming and going, and we've had, about a few days of colder weather, and then we get milder weather, and then it gets a bit colder again. I think it's an ongoing continuation of that. Of the winter pattern, rather than being a direct response to what's happening in the stratosphere. But anyway, so I don't want any confusion about that. The tropospheric response to strat warming should occur, later on in the month. And it might be that the tropospheric response actually takes the blocking away and takes it to another part of the northern hemisphere. That is also a possibility. Anyway, let's go through it. So, GFS midnight Wednesday, winds coming in from the northeast. That could be bringing some wintry showers in from the east, and high pressure sitting over top of the country In the second half of next week, cold nights with that and a chilly, probably quite raw easterly wind down in the south. Day 10 and beyond, it sees high pressure over to the east of the coast. That should be a little bit milder by day, actually. And then a trough of low coming back in from the west, from the Atlantic into west of Europe there in the very extended range. We finish up this little ridge building in the southwest. So not particularly wintry with GFS midnight run, but certainly some cold nights could be included there. And then the GFS 6 there, once again, those southeast winds on Sunday, they back round to the northeast as we go through early Tuesday. So cold through to the middle part of next week, wintry showers in the east, sorry. One of them high pressure sitting over top of the country late next week, bring cold nights and frosty days. Beyond that, up to day 10, a trough starts to push up from south, could bring some showery conditions into more southern and southeastern regions. And then beyond that, well, we find a ridge out to the west. The winds are coming in from more of a north or a northeasterly direction. We end up with high pressure Scandinavian winds back in from the east. So chilly, I would say, with both the GFS runs, but not, probably, most of the time anyway, especially cold. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe. And share everyone 14 Matt. Why not drop a comment? And let's say we think about this and all of our videos and content and live streams, etc., etc., as long as it's kind. And don't get to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. And thank you so much for doing that. GM again with low pressure bringing wind up from southeast through the weekend into next week. Wind goes round to an east or a northeast. You bring colder air in from the east. Middle part of next week looking really quite cold and wintry, certainly more so than we see on the GFS output today. This blocking area of high pressure fending off the areas of low pressure in the Atlantic. And we maintain that cold weather really up to the middle part of the month, up to day 10, although the ridge gradually starts to slip down through the western side of Europe there by day 10, gets us to the 16th of March. And then the ECM rounds it all off. So again, we've got those pretty warm, or certainly very mild, southeasterly winds for Sunday, but they back into the east of the northeast on Monday and Tuesday, bring colder air in from the northeast with wintry showers. The middle part of next week looking cold with wintry showers in the east in particular. And then a ridge just slipping down over the country. Cold nights with that through the latter part of next week. Probably won't feel too bad by day. And then day 10, start to see some weaker pressure start heading from off the Atlantic. Actually turns very unsettled just beyond day 10 with low pressure pushing through. And then we're back into cold northerly winds again, actually, as we go into the end of the ECM midnight run, looking pretty chilly there up to 21st of March. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Meteo.com. So let's have a quick look at this. Showery tonight and tomorrow across parts of England and Wales. Gradually turning drier both through the weekend. Next week looking mostly dry but turning colder, wintry showers coming back into the east and into the northeast. Well, so both could spread inland at times through the middle part of next week. They're mainly dry but with some cold nights to come up to day 10. These are the Oxford table within the ECM ensembles today. For day 10 from the Icelandic Meteorology gets us to 16th March. 16 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure blocking around ice and low pressure in France and winds coming in from the east. That's looking quite chilly at the very least. It's not cold. 15 with high pressure between Iceland and Scotland. Again, winds coming in from a cold north-northeast direction. 12 including control and the operation run blocked around Iceland to Greenland. Winds again in from the east from the northeast. And 8 with high pressure over Scandinavia, and winds are coming in from the east with that. All the options look quite chilly, if not cold, at day 10. And then in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It'll get us to the 21st of March. 18 members of the ECM ensembles with a blocking area of high pressure around Iceland. Winds coming in from a cold east or northeasterly direction. We're back to one. We've got 17 with high pressure from Scotland to Scandinavia. Winds coming in from the east. So the high pressure is kind of centrally located, so probably a bit milder by day with that one, but chilly nights are possible. And then 16 with some lower pressure to the south, a ridge out in the Atlantic, and that brings the wind in from the east or northeast direction. That could bring unsettled weather into the south. and probably quite chilly as well. But it is possible with that, but milder air could start coming in around the top of the high and reverse us back to a westerly. CFS V2, and then we're done. Means a 500 millibar high times break down in 2 week periods. The first week period takes from 6th to 12th of March. Next week, with high pressure to the north and to the east, low pressure southwest, and winds are coming up from a southeasterly direction. So, certainly starting off mild and then getting a bit colder. Week 2 is the 13th to the 19th of March. High pressure is towards Iceland then. Low pressure west of UK and Ireland. That could be bringing some colder air from the east. Week 3 is going to be the 20th to 26th of March with high pressure over and to the east, catching low pressure out to the northwest and winter coming up southwesterly direction. That should be mostly dry and mild. And then week 4 looks nice. This would be 27th of March to the 2nd of April. Certainly no sign of a Stratospheric response to the strat warm. And we see high pressure dominates across West Europe and probably pulling up quite a mild, if not warm, southwesterly wind there with that. So that looks very, very pleasant indeed as we move on into the beginning of April. We'll see. Right, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please can you like, share, and subscribe. Thanks to everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos, content, live streams, etc., etc. As long as it's kind. And don't forget to tell your friends about Gavs, so get to subscribe too. Thanks to everyone for doing that. So tomorrow, we've got 6 a.m. UK weather forecast, Jamie Friday, and a 10 to 14 day. We're finished with Pub Run Live now for this season, but there will be a channel member live stream. So if you're a channel member live stream, check into your Friday, your March and / Friday channel member live stream, and that'll be at 7 p.m. tomorrow evening for channel members. Well, you enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Make the most of the sunshine. It's a lovely afternoon out there. Make most of it. For this one, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.